Why is agriculture in our area so important?
In agriculture, every job connects.
And how does technology play a role in this?
Everything is connected to satellites and cell phone reception.
So let me get this straight. Your workers fill this thing all the way up to the ceiling?
Soybeans are one of the most versatile crops in the world. It's kind of like set your sights on what you're interested in, and it will connect to food and ag. Really, a lot of logistics are involved in farming. So you have a very short window. Welcome to my farm. Our farm was originally founded in 1918, and so I farm with my parents and my wife. So common farm for this area, but corn, soybeans, and pigs. And so we're here at the main site, and just appreciate and welcome you guys here. We have corn soybean rotation. We use our fertilizer from our hogs for a lot of our fertilizer. A lot of precision agriculture. Everything has an iPad and connected to it. You've heard a little bit about me. Tell me more about you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I am Jerusalem Rodriguez. I'm going to South Central College for Child Development.
Thank you for having us today as well. My name is Omar Fonseca, and I am majoring in Health Unit Coordinator at South Central College.
Well, that's great. A little bit of reason I brought you in here is behind us. Just looks like black boxes, right? But those boxes are filled full of cover crop seed that we plant in the fall to keep our soil healthy, trying to be more and more sustainable all the time. So we'll plant that after we harvest our crop this year, and everything will hopefully be growing in the spring.
So you keep them in there?
So the seed, it will come through there, and it goes into the white tower next to it, and then we'll put it into a planter, and then we'll plant that cover crop into the stalks and the soil right after we harvest our beans and corn. Okay. And then that'll have a green mesh on top of the ground all winter long and into the spring before we plant our next crop. So here's a cover crop that we're going to plant this fall. It's multi-species of winter grasses, and we'll have that to keep our soil hopefully more healthy as we look for planting our next corn or soybean crop. And related to this seed, you know, I can't just do this by myself, so I'm looking for expertise that's in the plant science world. I'm looking for expertise that's in the soil science world to help guide and direct me as we do this. This is new type of farming, and we need those types of skill sets that do this. So it's all a logistical process here this fall that everything's got to tick, and Mother Nature has to work with us. But this is just something long-term soil health-wise we're trying to figure out.
What type of seeds are in there?
So this is rye, triticale, and winter wheat.
Okay. And how do they benefit?
So by keeping something growing all year round in the soil, when right now the corn, the soybeans are dying down, the roots die as well. You want to regrow something and keep something viable to actually pulling carbon, pulling nutrients into the roots, and then also help with erosion, with wind and water erosion all winter long to have something growing.
So even in the winter time, there's things growing?
Well, they go dormant when it's frozen, but then they'll come back in the spring. So there's a dormant process.
Okay.
Why is agriculture in our area so important?
It provides the economic driver of our region, but it's also providing food, fiber, fuel, and feed for not only us here in the U.S., but around the world. As this place and this particular region has such good soil, has such good climate, that we're producing more food and fiber for that, more than what we just consume here. And so the world depends on us. Welcome to the shop. This is where we have all of our equipment here ready to go. It's all maintained for the summertime, and now we're moving into harvest. And behind us here is our combine, and that combine takes care of the harvesting of both corn and soybeans for our entire farm.
Okay. And how does technology play a role in this?
Great question. Technology is a key component. Everything is connected to satellites and cell phone reception. So on top of it, there's a little yellow globe. That's usually connected to a minimum of 15 satellites every given moment that it's harvesting. And I've been carrying around the iPad, and that's because every piece of my data goes on here. And so I can watch when somebody else is driving the combine. I can also be checking records. But the key thing of this is we need people that can do software development, they can do engineering related to how do we make agriculture more efficient, and how do we make it better, and how do we problem solve. And a lot of this equipment now connects right in with the tractor and the engine components that our dealerships can actually log in and say, oh, hey, this is what's wrong. So when they send somebody out to fix it, they already know what part's broken.
So it's kind of like, has like an outline of this on there?
Yeah, so this will see it, watch it go through the entire field when it's harvesting, and every piece of data that it collects, from the yield to the moisture of the crop to the test weight of the crop, across every foot of all of our fields.
So does that go in by itself, or do you have to like type it in and stuff?
So nope, it's automatic. So there's programs set up in there. I plug the iPad in, and all the data is recorded right on here and up through our cell phone towers. So I could pull it up on my phone as well.
So what are the type of work that workers would be doing with you?
Yeah, so a lot of it is my father and myself are running the farm, but every day there's something that needs fixing, needs improving, and so we work very closely with our diesel mechanics. As something needs fixing, I might not know how to do it, and so you have this trusted advisor group that you surround yourself with, all the way to you work with the local fertilizer management, because plants need nutrients, right? And so we need to apply that. And we also are going to need folks to work with us on how this technology works, and how do we make sure that we're entering the right information, or that it's pulling the right information from the combine directly. So it's anywhere from the software side all the way through, you know, we need something fixed, who can be out here to help us fix it. Here we're sitting inside the combine, looking at the technology and the equipment here. I can pull up all my maps, from harvesting data to planting data, to compare. So as we're going through the field and we're harvesting, we're like seeing exactly what's happening real time. And if I'm not in the combine here, there we go. It's always beeping. There's all kinds of noise usually. And I can pull it up on my phone and watch if my dad's harvesting as well. And one of the important things is this is having tech support 24/7, because in the harvest, some nights we not shut off. Some nights it's all time round, and if this stuff goes down, we pretty much stop, because we want to collect the information, and if the technology's not recording it, we'll stop, because we don't want to miss out on that data for long history and looking back on what we have going on. And so we have three different pieces of technology in here. This one talks more about the actual piece of equipment. It talks more about the guidance line, so all the GPS gets connected in here. So global positioning system. So we're relying upon satellites to tell us where we're at all times. And then we can have auto steer. We can set auto steer on so it drives itself, and we don't have to drive. So it'll keep really straight across the field, and then because it knows the GPS data, that goes into the iPad and the collection of all the harvesting, what we're harvesting. So tech support, connected to our local mechanics all the time, is very different than when my dad or my grandfather would add horses, to where the point my dad, it was just, you know, you had to wait across a typical scale, where I know all of my data here before you even leave the field.
Someone wanted to like do this as an actual like job, what would they need to like know and go for?
Yeah, so if they were going to do this for a normal job, I mean, we want them to understand the base. How do you know if something's going wrong? You have to have an understanding of listening for something, to see if something don't sound right. Maybe I should stop and go check it out before it becomes an issue. They're going to have basic understanding of how to drive something, and more than just, you know, a car, so that way they're safely moving down the road or across the field. And then lastly, in all of our equipment today, since there's so much technology involved in it, they have to have some understanding of how to navigate technology. It's taken a long time for my dad to get there, but my kids, this technology stuff isn't an issue.
What does this machine right here do?
So this machine here is our planter. This is what we put our seeds in the ground with in the spring, where we plant our corn and soybeans. And there is about 6-7 sensors on every single row, and there's 16 rows. So we collect lots of data, but we also have lots of repairs. This is one of the best places that I enjoy, is being out, seeing what's been a result of a year-long process to produce oil seeds. This is oil seeds, soybeans. They go into so many products you don't even think about. I mean, who doesn't like French fries, right? Do you like French fries?
Yes.
So soybean oil, that's most of the time what gets put into frying oil, or salad oils and dressings. Most of the time the base is soybean oil. The other part of soybeans that are used for is they're very high protein, and so the protein can be made into baby foods and protein supplement drinks, all the way to animal feed, because animals need protein as well. Soybeans are one of the most versatile crops in the world, and we have them right here.
What sparked your interest in agriculture?
What sparked my interest? You know, my story is I find it fascinating that we can grow food, and we can do it in such a sustainably fun, new technology, constantly adapting. That's what sparked my interest, and I love being outside and really enjoy the sciences behind what it takes to grow a crop. How do you get the nutrients to the roots? You know, what bugs are attacking our plants? How do we stop those bugs from attacking our plants? All the way to how do we store it, and how do we make it so that way it's a highly sought after product from our buyers.
So knowing that agriculture is very important, what would you say is an issue in agriculture?
An issue in agriculture? There's a lot of challenges in agriculture that we use. Mother Nature typically wins. So we're constantly battling Mother Nature, whether that's new insects, whether that's new weeds with resistance, or whether it's in a year where we don't have as much rain as we normally do. That's a challenge. Another challenge is how do people view what we do in agriculture, and how do they decide as the court of public opinion to what we should do out here? That's one of our biggest challenges that we have. So guys, this is our grain bin that we store our corn in, or soybeans, and so we can really, a lot of logistics are involved in farming. So you have a very short window of time that we have to get all of our crop out of the ground before snow hits.
Is this the largest bin on your property?
Yeah, this is our largest bin. We just put it up last year. So it holds about 75% of our crop, and it took the entire last summer to get built. So we've had 1 year's crop in here. We removed about 4 feet of soil underneath of us, and we filled it in, compacted it, then they added the concrete before the structure could even start. And then to build the bin itself, I'd say there was about 10 people working for about a month to fully assemble this facility.
How much does this hold?
So this bin here holds 100,000 bushels. A bushel is 56 pounds. So when we put that in here, we fully fill it up. There's air that comes through the floor that we're standing on, and it goes up through the grain to keep it in condition. And then throughout the winter and into the next summer, we sell all of our grain, and then we get it prepped and ready for this next year's crop.
So let me get this straight. Your workers fill this thing all the way up to the ceiling?
Right, so we start with our corn has got to be at a certain moisture to be put in here. And so our moisture, our grain is dried through a grain dryer, and then there's a pipe that's connected at the very top, and it drops and just continues to fill up. And so over about a week's worth of time, this will go from empty to all the way to the very top full.
So if I was interested in a career of agriculture, where would I start?
I would start with, are you interested in hands-on work? Are you interested in sciences or engineering? Because in agriculture, every job connects. From the being the farmer, knowing kind of all the careers from accounting to the sciences, through repair we have to do as a farmer. But then there's so many industries or so many people that touch our farm that we need. that it's kind of like set your sights on what you're interested in, and it will connect to food and ag.
Well, thank you for letting us come out to your farm today.
I really appreciate you showing you guys around the farm and showing what careers are entitled in agriculture, and really enjoyed the time, but wish it could have been longer.